That's right. No, this is way smaller than that. Way smaller. Honey, the Burlington Skyway? I don't think so. As we just heard, the Burlington Skyway, we're going across right now, and none of you that live in this area, Hamilton or Burlington, will be shocked to hear a sign just flashed up that said QEW moving slowly. Although I've been pretty lucky with the QEW the last couple of years. Very rarely.
Well, it's Friday.
Caught. Yeah, it's Friday at 4. You're right. This is pretty good for Friday at 4.
Yeah.
So we are on our way back to Ontario. We're going to train the babies up tomorrow and check in, say hello to everybody. I want to talk with Harry and Dominic about how their horses are going. I want to look at Oakwood Cowboy myself. Cleveland Masha had a abscess in her foot. I want to look at that and make sure everything is all right here. But as always, it generally is, you know. It's always good on both sides. We have people that are working hard to make sure that they are. Our caretakers did a great job today getting the horses ready to go. And, you know, we started at 8:30 because, maybe 40, because of the inclement weather and the track conditions. And still, we were done by 11:15, 6 sets.
Yeah, that was good.
It worked out really, really well this morning. Anyway, that is not what this video is about. This video is about the 3-year-olds. I want to tell you how everything is going. My take on how they are, they're all either racing or very close to racing or qualifying. So I'm going to talk about them all. Arson, very close to qualifying. He's been in 2-1, 2 minutes. We may... the one thing that bothers me, doesn't bother me, but it's a transition, is the schoolers. When we school, there's 4 schoolers in Ontario, full this time of year. There'll be 30 horses schooling. Racehorse speed, right? Getting ready to rock. But people in the U.S., or at least I shouldn't say the U.S. paint with a big brush like that, but definitely Ohio, Pennsylvania, when you go to the schoolers, there might be 1 or 2 horses there. Guy in a jog cart.
Fill them with all our horses.
Yeah, no, we easily could. Then we need the drivers, right, to go with them. So, but that's what we will do. Is the 2-year-olds at like 11 o'clock in the morning of the qualifiers now. So starting next month, likely 8 will go. The 8 trickiest ones will go first, and then we'll feel them out. And by the time we get ready to qualify our horses, they'll all have seen the gate in Ohio. Anyway, this is not about that. This is about 3-year-olds. So Arson, probably going to train him around 57 this week coming. Qualify him once, if not twice. I think he probably fits an hour as a 4 somewhere in Pennsylvania. He'll likely make his way to Megan's Barn at some point, I would imagine. Race in Pennsylvania a couple of times, but that also depends on what's going on with Tim. We have Time Is On My Side. I forgot about that. We have Time Is On My Side to race in the same stake races as Arson, so Tim may get Arson just yet. I'm not positive. Not sure what we're going to do. The ultimate goal with Arson is to race him in the first 2 stake races and then go directly to Kentucky, where he may spend the rest of the year, if not the vast majority of his year, with Eric and Kathy. So he is training down well, and he is getting very close to the races. He looks really, really good. Blanton's Blue has done his work. 3rd last week, but not his best work is done on the front end, so I'm not going to complain too much. He missed getting in this week, but he'll be in short order. He'll come right back and be in to go next week for racing. And he's in a good place. I like the fact that we can tag a couple of these horses heading into the spring. I'd love to see our 3-year-olds or sophomores have 4 or 5 wins by the time we get to start racing them in the stake races, because they get to race in the stake races no matter what, but every time they win, that takes a potential win out of the overnight category, right?
What do you mean?
So, say you go to race Purple People Eater, right? She's got 3 wins, so she fits an hour as a 4.
Right.
Well, right now she can be potentially tagged, right? Maybe not her is a good example, but another horse. She can be I'm Fancy Like.
Yeah.
She can be tagged and win 3 or 4 races. Now she's going into the stake season maxed out in the non-winners, plus she gets to race in the stakes all year, and it really doesn't matter because she gets to race in them no matter how many wins she makes or how much money she makes. But every time she wins a grassroots event, that takes a win out of the potential overnight category. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not really, though. Not really. I would rather win all my races in going into the stake season so that her overnights are maxed out, so to speak, because she gets to race in the stakes no matter what.
What happens if she's not good enough?
Well, if she's not good enough, then it doesn't matter. She can stay in the non-winners or fairs or racing a couple of Buckeyes that are close. Horses like that, any of the horses we have in our barn for the most part, will be effective horses in one way or another. You saw Born to Dance. We were able to put him in, put a tag on him and race him, and he jogged the other night. Now we're going to try and race him in the Nommers of 2 or the Iron Maiden. They have Nommers of 2 series, or the series in Osciota that say horses that raced in the Buckeye their last start. Horses that raced in the Sire Stakes not eligible type thing.
I get that, but you're always getting rid of horses that have too many wins at the end of their 3-year-old
At the end of their stake season. We're going into their stake season looking to maximize our wins. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I just think we're in a real good spot with most of our 3-year-olds. Even a horse like Blanton's Blue, he'll win that class, and he can win that class. And he can win his way right up to 5-6 wins before he starts his stake races. So I just think it's a real good spot for him to be in right now. Born to Dance, we were just talking about him. He absolutely jogged the other night. Now, somebody had said, geez, Anthony, I hate to lose him. And I said, yeah, I would too. For 22.5, I don't really want to lose that horse. But truth be told, I don't think there's not going to be an arm wrestling contest to see who gets to claim Born to Dance, right? Nice horse. The state's full of nice horses. He's just our nice horse. So he's out of that class now. The next tag up puts him somewhere around 30 or 32 anyway, so it's a moot point. I just think that was a great spot for him the other night. Enough uncertainty that they left him alone, but he overmatched them for the most part. There's a couple of horses that were okay in there, but the trip he got, the way it worked out, like he run off on them with the earplugs in and looked really, really good doing it. I was happy with the way the horse looked. Not a long way from being a killer or a monster, but being an effective horse is very important also, and he is. Did not school today, but I think she's getting close. She was in 2:15 last I talked to Dominic. That was 2 weeks ago. Now, I still have to talk to Dominic and Harry about a couple of these horses. Harry's got a couple, Dominic's got a couple. Just want to make sure I get a firm grip of where they're at and what they're doing. Dominion, that was one of the other ones. Another one, I suspect he's been around 2.8 or 2.10 by now, but I'll talk to Harry more about him tomorrow. Dominion, don't talk about Bruno, is very close to going to Mohawk also, I think.
He did.
He did go. Well,
yes.
He went to Mohawk. Are you sure? Are we just going to go through this whole chain?
Yes,
unless you have information of how they did, I don't care.
Oh, well.
I don't need to know when they did. I don't care when they did. I need to know how they did.
I know that, but I'm just saying at least he went to Mohawk. So
Yeah,
I thought he went.
Yes, he's going 2.5, 2.6, something like that. Drebin raced the other day, and I talked to James exclusively about him and how bad he drove him. No, I didn't. It was funny because James said he had a sore back, and I said, do you think, like, when your back gets better, do you think you'll drive our horses better? So he said George of the Jungle had made a break today off the gate, but he said he was just very green. He said he went up to the car. He was fine afterwards. He was just startled. He was a green horse, had never seen the gate before, and he was just a little bit startled. So I was just joking with him about that. But Drebin last night, going 1/2 and 3 on a horrible, horrible track. It's not Drebin's fault. It's not the end of the world. And he'll bounce back. Flashfly, a little bit of a scare the other day. For some reason, she was acting up or doing something. I've never seen her do it, but she kicked Scott, our rider, out of the jog cart. Now, didn't physically kick him, but kicked at the jog cart in such a manner that Scott got unseated and dumped out, and she ran loose and got scraped up a little bit. No real injuries, but some superficial road rash on her. Didn't have a lot of hair or skin.
Her skin is.
Yeah, and she's got like a skin issue where she gets skin irritations easy. So now she's got about 13% less skin than she had before that. So anyway, she'll be fine. She'll be fine. It's just we can joke about it, but that's how horses get hurt. So we were very lucky. Scott's okay, jog cart's okay, and Flashfly's okay. But it is going to set her back a couple of weeks. George of the Jungle, as I said, went to Mohawk to school. Dominic and both James said the horse was fine before and after the break, but he did make a break at the gate. He didn't feel that it was much of a big deal, so I assume they're going right into a qualifier, maybe another schooler, I'm not sure. Great bet. Bit of a lackluster looking qualifier today. Dominic said he was going to draw his blood. So a number of things going on there. Now James didn't go, then Mario did, but I want to talk to everybody involved tomorrow and find out, is his attitude okay? If it's not, we can castrate him. Amy was reminding me he's a ridgeling, so it's a little trickier and the time frame isn't perfect, but if it's going to ensure that he's a better horse throughout the year, then fine. I don't know if I'm sold on it, and I'm not saying that is something that needs to be done right now, but it will be discussed. Dominic said he scoped good, and he was going to draw his blood. Now, we've had a couple of horses tie up over the last few weeks, and with this weather, it's not shocking. So if that's what happened, great. But again, this is this will be a component of the conversation we're all going to have about Great Bet tomorrow. Good-looking horse, very well-bred, had his moments last year, and I don't think there's any reason why he shouldn't this year. So I just want to get a firm grip on what everybody thinks of Great Bet and what we're going to do moving forward. Green Tea, surprisingly very good. Now, I don't mean that in a negative way, but I just thought he would act up or be crazy. Oliver, shh. I don't mean that he was going to be bad or do. I just thought that he might act up first time behind the gate, and actually he did not. He was very, very good. He's making his first lifetime start at Oak Grove on Tuesday. I didn't know what I would do this week. I don't really want to fly to Oak Grove. It turned out, I looked at the Tuesday flights. I'm like, wow, these flights have really gone up. That's way too expensive. But if I fly Monday afternoon, I'm going to have to rent a car too. Remind me of that. It shouldn't be expensive. Rent a car. The hotel on the Horseman's Rate is very affordable at Oak Grove. Stay over, qualify. We're going to send Lonely Lakewood down to Kentucky this week so we can qualify him. I'm going to qualify Lonely Lakewood. I'm going to qualify Lover's Play. And I'm going to race Kings County, Brace for Landing, Militant, and Green Tea. What about that? Just rattled those 6 off.
So they are leaving. When are they leaving?
They'll leave before Tuesday because he's racing on Tuesday. So I suspect Sunday night, Monday morning likely. I think the plan was Jason Thompson is going to take them to Joey Putnam and he's going to ship them down to Oak Grove, is the plan, I believe. Now, Green Tea is in on Tuesday, so he has to get there.
Yeah, that's what I was just wondering.
Gypsy Hill, a little disappointed. I think we're going to gel Gypsy Hill. And there's been no reason to, but I was extremely disappointed with him the other day. Now, I've been talking mechanics with Gypsy Hill, but whoa, there was nothing wrong with his mechanics the other day. I checked his boots after, and we were able, because the track was so bad, his boots were covered with mud, a slick of mud on both his boots, where you can see if a horse is hitting anywhere. Plain as day, you can see the scuff marks, just as if you took your boots off and rubbed your finger down the side of it, you would see scuff marks on those boots. Not one mark on either of them. Yet he made a break in the first turn, which would be the 5/8 turn also. So, a little disappointed in the effort from Gypsy. I know there's lots of speed still there, so I think what we're going to do with Gypsy is maybe castrate him, maybe put a hair more weight on him, and maybe I'll zip him over to the Meadows. I was really debating whether I should send him to Ontario, and that's not certainly off the table just yet, but it isn't. It wouldn't be my preferred top pick of things to do right now, and that's a very fluid situation with Gypsy Hill. But if it hadn't have been muddy, I would never have known. I just would have thought, you would have think, well, you can't really see. These are black plastic boots, and even if you see a little scuff mark, it's not the end of the world. But to see none, yeah, I was a little miffed, a little perplexed over that. So Gypsy Hill, I believe step 1, we're going to castrate him right away. Hallie in the Clouds did tie up last week. That's why she missed her start this week. Now, I don't have the exact count from Dominic, but I'm pretty sure the plan was to train her this week and race her next week at Mohawk. I'm Fancy Like is in Saturday in a good place because we can put a tag on these horses. Not having a sire stake horse is, we all want to have champions, but how do we manage the ones that aren't champions? Putting her in that class is a perfect fit for I'm Fancy Like. She's not a layover, she's not a running off winner, but she should be extremely competitive in there. And I think putting the trotters and them, being able to price them in that class, that one, they go for decent money, and two, they should have a good spot, right? It should be a good start to the season. It certainly was for Mounts for All. It certainly was for Born to Dance and those types of horses. They'll excel from this opportunity. So interested and eager to see I'm Fancy Like race on Saturday night. Insider Trading, again, great spot the other day, but she was horsing really bad. Some horses can muscle through it and just work their way through it, and other ones can't. And Insider Trading couldn't, just the way it is. I'm debating on putting the hobbles on her and training her up Monday morning in preparation of a Wednesday start. That's when that series starts did I say Wednesday? Thursday. I'm sorry, Thursday start. So she will race on Thursday. She will train on Monday. Whether she races with the hobbles on or not, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see on Monday morning. Irresistible Sun, a good qualifier, biting the left line hard. I never got an update from Dr. Latessa yet on what he found. Something was bothering him. No acute lameness. There was no, I could say, oh, it's his knee. Looks like his foot. He just was a little sore. There was nothing. Just the further we went, the more he bit that left line hard. Now, I know last year we didn't race him with a head pull on the inside, and he had a sharp head pull and a Murphy blind on. Now, having said that, he wasn't on the left line leaving the gate hard like that. The further we got down into the mile, the more he bit that line. So I want to believe that it was maybe a stifle that was bothering him a little further in the mile. Either way, there's no rush to get him in anywhere. He fits I gotta talk to Jason. I think he fits in Iron Maiden series also. So he'll race in that series. Ask Jason, will you text him a message? Just say, does Irresistible Sun fits the Iron Maiden? I think, does he not? He has one. He might have 2 wins. I don't think he does. Just ask him, but I don't think he does.
Fit that Iron Maiden?
Yeah, does he? But it does he. J-Port Beach Boy is training down and looking good. I think he's still a couple weeks away, if I'm not mistaken, from Dominic. Way you go there, bud. Lonely Lakewood, I just talked about him. I trained him yesterday. I'm happy with him. I think we are going to make some changes, but do they need to be made before Oak Grove? I don't think so. So, we're going to send him. The only reason I'm sending him down to Oak Grove now is because I am going to be there to qualify on Tuesday. May as well get Lonely Lakewood qualified while I'm there. Also, that's where I want to send him. That's where I think he needs to be, and that's where he's going to get his start Tuesday in Oak Grove. Lovers Play, oddly enough, next on the list, and she is the other horse that will be qualifying on Tuesday. I was kind of a little miffed at myself for putting her on the run the other day. It just, of all the horses we raced, that was the one, when I warmed her up, that was my slam dunk. Not to win, but that was one I was least worried about making a break. Brace, you had to watch him at the gate. Kings County's made breaks in the first turn. Addie.
No, he doesn't.
Militant warmed up a little rickety. She just felt like she was... Ollie.
Oh, you gotta hang up right now.
She was the one that I just felt was dialed in, and I think she was. She was headed towards the front. She had it in her head too. That's where she was headed. And as I snatched her up, and just at the point of that turn, when the horse made the break in the 2-hole and the 2-hole became available, she just kind of lost her focus, and I lost her. And I was a little upset with myself, but we'll get her qualified and get her back on track starting on Tuesday. Mick Paisley is training down still. She's a little bit behind, but she'll get there. Mel Gibbswan, I trained him this morning, 2-2 and a piece at Northfield Park. He was good. The track it was cold, it was snowy, rain mix, and mile and 2-1 was a big mile for that, or 2-2 was a big mile for that horse this morning. Memory and Imagination, we're going to train a mile about 57 or 58 this week, same as Arson, and get them into qualify. I suppose if I don't have to be to the Meadows until later in the card, I can probably qualify them, maybe, but we'll see. And it's not to say that either Jason can't do it. I just...
You just said you weren't going on Thursday.
No, Wednesday I'm not going. I have nothing.
You just said you were racing Insider Trading on Wednesday.
No, Insider Trading, and then you asked me, I said, no, did I say Wednesday? And you said yes, and I said, oh, I'm sorry, it's Thursday. I have nothing in on Wednesday. We can rewind the video. Do you know those commercials where the guy throws the flag up and they rewind it back?
You could have been talking about what day you were going. I was mistaken, not what day the horse was racing.
No, they're racing on Thursday. Pull the Shoes and Insider Trading are racing on Thursday for sure, because it is the first leg of that series. Yeah, there we go. We're okay now? Okay. Memory and Imagination, he's ready to go right now. We've trained him fast. We've trained him in 2-1 and 2-3. I trained him in 2-4, so he's already been 3 pretty good miles. He fits in hours of 4, so we had a prep race somewhere for him. First start before he goes to the Bunker Hill. Maybe what I'll do is I could send that horse down to Mark and Melissa. They could race him in Plain Ridge 1-star. I don't know if I'll do that either. I want to go to Plain Ridge. I got to check those dates anyway. Yeah. So that's what we'll do. He's going to the Bunker Hill race. I just don't know where his prep race will be. With only 3 wins on his card, he does fit the non-winners of 4. There should be a non-winners of 4 race for him somewhere, whether that be the Meadows or... Well, I don't really want to race him at Northfield, although there is something to be said about racing at home. I guess I'm going to check and see what all the purses go for, because we have Poconos, Meadows, Northfield, Yonkers, if we want to. We get around a half, I know that. So I haven't made my mind up yet. I think Memory and Imagination will likely have a prep somewhere before he ends up at Plainridge. Militants, I was happy with this first race. I'm not going to say that very often. When your fifth beat 8, you're not going to hear me say very often I was happy with his race, but I was. Showed a lot of tenacity. He was not awesome that day gate-wise, but the track was very deep, and I think the rain they got probably helped that track too. But I was happy with his focus and his tenacity. He allowed me to hold him together and get him up into it. If I had been a little more aggressive with him, I think he would have been right there, which I plan on being next week with him. But I wasn't disappointed with Militant the other day. Mounds for All was good. He always just does enough to get it done. He's got the Iron Maiden he can race in here. He's going to miss the first leg. He'll race in the Non-Winners of 2 on Wednesday, I guess, then. He does have the Expression Series, it's called, and that goes starting 1st of May in Indiana. So that will be his first Indiana race. But we'll race him a little bit here. I mean, I think he's good enough. I said to Jason, I said, if push come to shove, he tried 58 right now at Northfield Park. He's coming on, and he's looking good. Paycheck Princess did not look good the other day. Just disappointed with her attitude and her overall input. And this has been a common theme since her first qualifier. She just puts out what she believes she should. And, I told Eric the other day, she's like 5-1. I said, just put her in a condition claimer. Put her in a class where she can win. That's what she can do. I'm not worried about where that is or what she has to do. If she has to go back to the Meadows, then she'll go back to the Meadows. But she needs to be doing her work better. And I know I can say, it's my fault, I shouldn't have put her on the front. It's not like she was overwhelmed on the front end. She gave it up easily. And it's very frustrating when a horse does that. So, no soundness issues. I'm sure she'll be fine. We just have to find the right class for her. And yes, it is disappointing that she's going to be a horse we have to under-race all the time. But she is. And that's just the way it is. Pickpocket, he's ready to go for the most part. Jason's going to train him tomorrow for the first time since we had his entrapment fixed. By all accounts, perfectly fine, healing up great. We'll likely train him a firm mile next Wednesday when I'm here. I might train him in 59 or 2 minutes. And then same type of thing. We'll qualify Arson, Pickpocket, Memory and Imagination, and get them going. Prince Charmer was good in his qualifier. Just a spot of blood found, which isn't shocking because it was his first start on Lasix. His first qualifier without hobbles on. He was not on Lasix, I don't believe. So it's not shocking to see that. And plus, it was just such a miserable, muddy day. I just let him float along. I probably didn't do my best work qualifying him either as far as rating him properly. But mechanically, I was very, very happy with what I saw from Prince Charmer. We're going to have a lot of fun with this guy this summer. I think he's just the right kind of nice to be a horse that everybody's going to like all summer long. Pull the Shoes was a winner last start this week off, will really help her. It gave Tim and his crew a chance just to get that old dead hair out of her, get her cleaned up, dried up, give her a breath of fresh air in between starts, and she already had 4 starts this year, that filly, I think. So giving her that short little break of a rest, not too far out, we can keep her tight, keep her sharp. I think she'll put in a very good outing next Thursday. Punch the Clock. Just got an email saying she was not in foal. They were just going to check her out. She said, my first response to the lady at Southwind Farms was, is this concerning? Because I'm chewing my nails. I'm a little concerned. And she said, no, well, yes, but no. She goes, we have lots of time to get her in foal. We're going to check to make sure there's no mild infection or anything going on. She appears to be fine. She's ovulating, so that's good. I suspect they're going to do a few little tests to make sure she doesn't have any sort of uterus infection or something like that, I guess. And then she'll be rebred right away as soon as she's able to. Now, at that point, she doesn't get full. Now, I'm going to start chewing my fingers off. But I feel embarrassed. I don't know the lady's name. Laura. I think her name was Laura. Laura at Southwind Farms did not believe that there was a concern yet. Now, it's hard to discern somebody's feelings from an email, but it seemed like she felt they had it under control, and the end of the email was quite poignant, saying we have lots of time to get her in full, which obviously brings me to ease. Everything's working proper. Didn't get full yet. That's where we're at. Purple People Eater qualified well. Again, not my best work, but we got to change from a rope snake cord to a wire snake cord. She was just a little grabby at the start. Same way I remember her. She's qualified well, did her work well. You know, with that headwind, I'm not really disappointed in the mile at all. Not really. I'm not at all disappointed with her mile, and I'm sure she'll bounce back well for her next start, which will be, she fits the Iron Maiden also, if you want to put her in there. She was very good mechanically the other day for a horse, and I told everybody this, you know, she was making breaks, didn't train down good. I knew this. I've known this family now 2 generations of them. I know exactly what they're like. Until you start stringing together some quarters with speed, they look a little rickety, they look a little choppy, a little rude, but they'll come around, and she's exactly like her sister was and qualified well the other day. Ready for Landing is going to Mohawk tomorrow to train, so I'm eager to hear how he is. If we get done training at the farm, I may drop down and watch the horse train myself. And I know what you're saying, why don't you go with them? I want to see. I might if they need help, but I would. What's that? No, I can jump in with James. He's going down at 9 o'clock. Yeah, I can jump in with him. So we'll see how that all plays out tomorrow, but eager to hear how he went, at the very least, eager to see how he goes at the very most. Really Don't Care, I suspect, is schooling soon too. She should be almost ready to go. Again, I got to talk to Harry tomorrow about this. I apologize for my partners on Really Don't Care and a couple of the other horses, Dominion, and those types of horses. I'll have answers in the opening for you once I talk to Harry. I apologize, I just don't have them right now, today. Royal Emeralds. Why is she still on the list? Well, she qualified yesterday at the Poconos, so good luck. Megan has her at the Poconos for Rick and Scott. Sedona Hill made the break the other day. That was just pure ignorance, just being a little troll. There was 2 horses that were way better than her in front of her, and she just decided that now would be a good time to be a little rude, and I didn't move her, and she got a little angry in the mud and made a break. That will change next week. We'll trade that spring bid in for a nice little chain in her mouth, and she's going to behave herself, and we will get her qualified next Thursday, no problem. Otherwise, mechanically, I had no issues with Sedona Hill. Sunset Acres Girl continues to jog and may have even trained a mile or so. Trained down yet? There's tons of time. I'm not really in a rush. There's lots of time to put all the miles into Sunset Acres Girl, that's for sure. Sweeney is racing on Tuesday. Put the elbow boots on him, trained him, he's training good. Happy where he's at, and we're not going to go out like a steamroller with him his first start, but happy with what we've seen from Sweeney so far. Had to put the elbow boots back on him. Not really that worried about it. Otherwise, he's all systems go. Time is on my side. We'll be ready for next Friday. That's when that series starts. Tim asked if I wanted prep race. I said, no, I don't want any prep races. I don't want to waste one race with this horse the rest of the year. Just have him tight and ready to go. I'll take care of the rest on the track. And that's exactly what we're going to do with our boy. Time is on my side. Vaquero Blue Chip is going over to race next week also. I thought about it. I'm going to leave Victory here to race with Harry, because Victory is going to race for more money here than he would over there anyway. Vaquero Blue Chip will qualifier in 2-2 with, you know, Harry likes him, he thinks he's okay. James likes him, thinks he's okay. It's not really what I want to hear. And they both like Victory. Fine. You guys keep Victory. Vaquero Blue Chip can go over and race in the Terry Altmeyer, I think it's called. And that's exactly what we're going to do next week with Vaquero. I'm going to have to get Harry to train him up good on Monday. I think he races on Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Victory Blue Chip, as I just said, will stay here with Harry and race here for the next few weeks until the Sire Stakes start in Pennsylvania at the very least. Watch Your Mouth continues to train down. I suspect he's been around 20. Just race. Just get him to the races and race him whenever he's ready. And Widespread Panic. Was he not at Mohawk? He's going to Mohawk tomorrow, I think. Widespread Panic. I believe he is. There's 2 horses I want to hear about. I'm really excited about Widespread Panic. He just I think he's got a lot to offer, and I can't wait to see what I don't want to say the finished product, but what the product looks like as he gets to the races. And Winter Bells must be getting close also. I don't know how much she's been. I'm going to say 15, maybe a little faster, but I don't think she's slated to go to Mohawk. No, she is almost close. She was going 1 mile and 2.8 at the farm the other day, I believe is what Dominic said. So she should be actually very close. She might be going to Mohawk tomorrow also. So with that, those are all your 3-year-olds. Couple little gaps there, but as I get more information from Harry and Dominic, I'll bring that to you in the opening this week, where the horses are and how they did or how they're doing. any of the horses that we missed today. So with that, I'm going to let you go. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. It's much better here. The weather here is much better here than it was on the way here. I can tell you that. Buffalo, sleet and snow and hail. Ugh. Rotten day this morning training, but we get through all of it. We're here now. We've landed. The Eagles have landed. I will talk to you all very soon. I hope you guys had a wonderful week. I hope you have a great weekend. Take care.